Gorgeous fall afternoon here in Weber County, and it means a few things. The snow is around the corner, and a great football game is set up for action here in the Big Sky Conference. Welcome on into our broadcast booth alongside QB1 Riley Jensen. I'm Tony Parks. And all right, Riley, two teams that had some bumps and skids in the first half of their season had their second half start the right way.
Yeah, both teams trying to build on the momentum that they had last week, coming up with a good win. Obviously, this is the time of year where the corrections are made. It's now time for players to make the plays.
And players making plays, Nate Bell describes exactly that.
Yeah, Nate Bell, what an incredible talent. When you get recruited to play Division I football, you can throw the ball, but the last two games he's had over 100 yards rushing, and this guy has really become a dual-threat quarterback.
A dual-threat quarterback who has really helped that offense be ignited. And then K.O. Hansen helped lead Weber State last week to what was an unbelievable performance. He was the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Week, combined with a defense that had 5 takeaways.
That's right, and he had 2 of them with those interceptions. And K.O. is just one of those players that is consistent. He's always in the right place. And if you keep doing that week after week after week, you make plays.
And now he's set to make plays once again. The Eastern Washington Eagles against the Weber State Wildcats here today, each with a record of 3-4. Trying to seize momentum from what they did last week. Weber State with that win against Portland State. Eastern Washington coming off of an emotional victory in a rivalry game against the Idaho Vandals. So set to kick off for Eastern Washington, as they have lining it up here at this moment, Hunter McKee. And back deep to return, Jaylene Record for Weber State. And they have their beehive-themed helmets that are out there to represent the state of Utah. We are set for action here today at Elizabeth D. Shaw Stewart Stadium. It's the Wildcats, it's the Eagles. The ball is teed up, and there's nowhere else we'd rather be. Thanks so much for joining us here today. A touchback will bring the ball out to the 25-yard line. And Riley, for the Weber State Wildcats, Dejon Jennings is a guy that's had some really positive moments here for this team.
Yeah, I think he has really, really good feet. He takes care of the football. I don't think he does too much. And I think it'll be really, really important today for Weber State to get him in positive throwing opportunities and being able to lead this offense.
63.3% with his completion percentage, 317 yards so far, a 2 TD to 1 interception ratio. 1st and 10 for Weber State at the 25-yard line. There goes Session in motion and now comes back. He'll fake the handoff. Jennings taking a deep shot right away. Down the field has Record, who makes the catch inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line.
Well, that's a big play over the top of the defense. Nice play action by Jennings. And then the captain, Jalen Record, getting behind the defense on a post route. Good start for Weber State right here.
A gain of 37 yards. For Record, his 18th catch of the season. In motion. Now snap goes back, the handoff to the right side, surging through and brought down for a rugged gain of about 4 yards. Davion Godley, good to have him back.
Well, Davion Godley is just a phenomenal talent. He is kind of the thunder to the thunder and lightning of this Weber State, but he's also got some lightning in him, so be careful. Don't underestimate this guy.
He's back with a great combination between Godley and Sylvester. And on 2nd down, it's Godley again. And a sidestep. Room to run. Chase down, splits, tackles, and takes it all the way for a touchdown.
Boy, he made me look good right there, Tony, with the little sidestep, little lightning, and then a little thunder to break a tackle and get into the end zone. Let's go.
He was both thunder and lightning on that play. And Davion Godley with the first punch landed. It's from Weber State. They couldn't have asked for a better first drive. For Godley, that is his 4th touchdown run of the season.
Well, what I really liked about that run, Tony, was his patience behind the pulling guard. They were running what a lot of coaches call God's play, which is power. And he followed that guard perfectly into the end zone.
Well, God's play, as you described it, perfect for Godley. The extra point is up and good. And Weber State has a 7-0 lead right out of the gate. As we take a look at the keys to the game, O'Reilly for Eastern Washington, they badly need a quality start, and this was not starting fast.
Yeah, this is not starting fast offensively or defensively. And then the other part that I said, the keys to the game, is to slow down the Washington State running attack. This is a really, really solid running back crew for Weber State, and that just didn't happen. And then set up Jennings for success. You know, you switch to Weber State. He gets a 37-yard completion on first down, and 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. Now we'll see if the last key to the game is important, which is defensive momentum, and we'll see what Weber State has as far as answers go defensively. I think they felt really good about how they played against Portland State last week.
Well, and back to your point on Eastern Washington, start fast. How critical is that? This team on the road this year, that being the Eagles, outscored now 62-0 in first quarters. That includes that opening drive from Weber State.
They're going to need to answer right here. It's going to be important for momentum. Now, in college games, momentum goes back and forth because the games are so long, but it's important to answer momentum when you can. And so we'll see if what Eastern Washington has up their sleeve offensively here.
Yeah, for the Eagles, they'll let this go into the end zone for a touchback. Cronquist will stay out there, and the Eastern Washington offense will make their way out there. For Eastern Washington, Nate Bell, you talked about him. A guy that has had 2 straight 100-yard rush games, but some clutch key plays that has helped put money in the bank in that leadership category.
Well, he's not a huge guy. You'll see he's 5'10", 195. He's compact. He can throw the football. He can run the football.
Bell looked to throw on first down, and he is sacked. Jumping in there and getting a hand on him defensively was Zion Finau.
When Zion has just really had a good defensive year this year for Weber State. Even statistics that don't show up in the stat book, where he's taken on double teams and allowing linebackers to run and make tackles. He's been really, really pivotal in this Weber State defense.
They go with a 5 front. Bell, quick throw, knocked down. Great defensive play for Weber State. Sione Hala. Weber State had the big takeaways last week, but how important was it defensively to do the simple exceptionally well, like they did in that game against Portland State?
Well, it's like Steve Madden used to, or not Steve.
John Madden?
No, the coach for the Cubs a few years ago. Do simple better. It's so
Joe
important.
Madden.
Joe Madden. Sorry, I went to like 10 different Maddens.
Throw down the middle is high and incomplete, as that pass was intended for Nolan Olm, a 3-and-out for Eastern Washington.
And that's not starting fast. That is not exactly what we were talking about with Eastern Washington, both defensively and offensively. Defensively, they give up a touchdown. Offensively, they're 3-and-out. They're going to have to get over to the sideline and kind of revamp their thinking and get these players coached up for the next portion of this game.
Bird Butler standing back at his own 38-yard line to return. Set to punt, Landon Ogles, one of the best in the conference. He has 10 punts of 50 or more yards. Now making 11 and a muff, and this ball's going to be recovered at the 2-yard line. Did they call it a muff? They did. A special teams miscue for Weber State, and it puts Eastern Washington on the doorstep.
Wow. And as exciting as Bird Butler is, he's got to make sure that he's got his feet underneath the ball and is able to catch the ball on that return. And an early special teams mistake puts Eastern Washington on the 2-yard line of Weber State.
What a break for the Eagles after going down 7-0 and then -6 on a 3-and-out. Now they're at the 2, handoff, surging through to the end zone, touchdown. And what a great answer for the Eagles of Eastern Washington after things started so poorly for them. And now they're a PAT away from tying this up.
Well, you know, Tony, one of the things that's hard about a situation like that is you go 3-and-out, you're feeling good about what you did defensively. You're over there getting ready to talk about what you're going to do for the next defensive possession, and then you're being told you're back on the field. You're trying to run out there and make a play. makes it really difficult.
PAT is up and good from McKee. And the Eagles have tied this thing up at 7 apiece here on ESPN+. Seven game, 1st and 10, Weber State at the 25-yard line. Jennings and the Weber State offense for possession number 2. It's Record who takes the quick pitch and gets up to about the 30-yard line. Riley, how big is this for the Eastern Washington defense to be able to collect their breath after that last drive, have a 7-7 game, and start over?
Well, you feel like you're back in it, so you have new life. But you also need to make some of the changes that you need to make, because that was not a pretty drive for the first series for Eastern Washington.
Record makes the reception, picks up or actually gets dropped down for a loss of 1 at the 28. And now Weber State with a key 3rd down early, as Eastern Washington would love nothing more than to get off the field with a 3 and out. Jennings back to throw. A sidearm toss, and it is caught at the 30-yard line, but well shy of the 1st down. Went to Godley, and all over at that time was Reed's son, who leads the team in tackles with 49.
So I thought right there Jennings gave up just a little too quick. He had a wraparound dig that was coming open over the... I appreciate him going to the check down. And like I told you in the pregame, Tony, I always love a completion on whether it gets the 1st down or not, because psychologically it feels good. But I thought he could have been a little bit more patient in the pocket there to get that ball downfield.
Cronquist back to field this. Sylvester surging forward, falling forward. He'll get 4, and it sets up a 3rd down and 6.
It looked like there was a little bit of a hole out to the left there, but I'm going to trust Boogie on this one. He really just stuck his nose up in there and got a good positive 5 yards, and there's a lot of plays.
Washington. They've recorded an interception in 5 straight games. Had a season low 14 points given up against Idaho last week. Trying to get off the field on this 3rd down. Jennings over the middle for Record. It's incomplete. And the coverage provided there by Messiah Washington.
You know, Tony, one of the things that's difficult about this 3-3-5 defense, or 3-5-3, whatever you want to call it, is protection becomes paramount. And it's not easy on quarterbacks. It's not easy on offensive linemen to know where the blitz is coming from and where the rush is coming from. And early on here, there's been just a little bit of confusion on who's supposed to block where.
Punting the ball for Weber State, Henry Way. And this ball will roll inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Eastern Washington. If you're the Eagles, you know, your touchdown scoring drive was a 2-yarder, and it was based off of a muff punt. Where's the first place you'd look to get this offense some momentum? Because so far it has been really tough for them up front to try and find room to operate.
I think you need to poke and prod in the run game, and typically that's with Nate Bell. And then I think you need to get him some easy completions. So far they've been trying to throw the ball downfield, but I think he needs to see that completion a couple of times here early.
Bell rolling right. Looks downfield and throws incomplete. As that time he was going for Wesley Garrett. Last week, Nate Bell had an outstanding game running the football. He had 134 yards. The rest of the offense combined for -6 yards rushing.
Well, and you know, a lot of times you can make plays with your feet in the passing game, which is what it looks like he's trying to do, but Weber State has done a pretty good job of kind of shadowing him and making sure he doesn't get upfield too easy.
Bell with a completion now to Wesley Garrett, the 6'2 freshman from San Bernardino, California, who makes it a much better 3rd down. It's 3rd and 2 now.
Well, and that was just a 2-man scat combination. I really like the way that happened there for Bell. It gets him an easy completion. He gets to see it go into his wide receiver's hands.
Snap back and 1st down yardage on the carry by Jared Taylor.
Little wildcat formation.
Jared Taylor, who had the touchdown earlier. So Eastern Washington has had a touchdown today. Now they have a 1st down.
Well, and a 3rd down conversion that seems to be so important to them right now.
They only had 2 last week. They had the lowest 3rd down conversion rate in the conference. Around the right side, Taylor is grabbed and yanked out of bounds over at the 40-yard line.
Boy, initially there, I didn't hear a whistle. Felt like maybe he wasn't out of bounds and they hadn't called it. But clearly all the players stopped down there.
And interesting with Taylor, a guy listed as a quarterback, but obviously will take some direct snaps and a part of the run game early and often in this game this afternoon. Bell throws high, nice catch. Beautiful grab that time by Wesley Garrett over by the sticks.
So moving the ball a little bit better here on this 3rd drive of the game.
3rd down and a yard. Twice they had a 3rd and 1 against Idaho last week. They failed to convert. Nate Bell, the sophomore from Brentwood, California. Yet standing behind him. Bell will keep it. The chase is on, and they've got him in the backfield. A TFL by Keanis Thompson. And tackles in the backfield have been a theme here so far, with Weber State's defense as their king on Bell.
And Coach Joe Dale right there, he drew up a nice blitz. They chased him down from behind there, using their speed and athleticism to get after Eastern Washington's offense.
Offense on the field on 4th down. Calls at the line here by Bell. He'll keep it himself. He hits the wall. He's brought down very close to first down yardage. We'll see where they're going to spot this. And they're going to say, go ahead. It's good enough for a first down.
Well, that snap was a little high. Nate Bell did a nice job of just playing wide receiver on that play to make sure that they got positive yardage, and then he was able to get them the first down.
Coming into today, 8 for 15 on 4th down.
Timeout. Weaver State, they're first of the half. Timeout on the field.
So, a 7-7 ball game. Getting late here in this first quarter. The Eagles and the Wildcats here in Ogden.
It's in the thrill of starting strong, making gains. It's the real connections in between. It's in the satisfaction of being on the move. That brilliant feeling of getting somewhere.
As the sun rises over the Rocky Mountains on a new era, we stand on a foundation etched in stone. Built on the backs of legends, All-Americans, and national champions, we've made our mark not only in the West, but across the nation and the globe. Through perseverance and commitment to a world-class student-athlete experience, we've set ourselves apart from our peers as an untraveled road lies ahead. We are the Big Sky Conference, where experience is elevated.
Eastern Washington University is now the region's polytechnic. And that means we don't do things like everyone else. We put hands-on learning at the forefront of everything we do. Our polytechnic plays trumpet, learns applied ethics, and studies humanities and education. It powers the research centers that give our STEM graduates an edge in the workforce. We are your Eastern Washington University, the region's polytechnic.
You're a good uncle for doing this.
Well, here goes.
Got it.
Keep dancing! Keep dancing!
Get out of me.
You do enough things you don't want to do. Make sure your career isn't one of them with the help of PAX. Discover your healthcare career. Apply at PAX.com.
A 7-7 game there that last Saturday afternoon of October. We head into next month, Riley. Things at the FBS and FCS level, they get really fun now with playoff positioning and some of the really big games that are still left there on the schedule. The winner of today's game moves to being a 500 team. And when you've had your struggles in the early part of the season, you know, finishing 500 is never what everybody would have their goal to be, but how important is something like that at a point in the year where you say, okay, we're back to now playing the best version that we are, and we've now evened out our record?
Well, it just feels like you're playing football the right way when you do that. So, look, that game a couple of weeks ago here was a really, really difficult situation. To be able to play in that rainstorm, it was absolutely awful here. Much better weather today, but you could kind of look at it like, okay, that's a one-off. We've now won 2 in a row, and we're going the right direction.
Pass goes through the hands that time of Caden Stewart. And Stewart, 6'4" freshman from Linden, Washington. And it's going to be 3rd and 7. Eastern Washington 1 for 4 on 3rd down so far this afternoon. Bell looking to throw, dumps it down quickly, surging forward and about a yard shy of the first down. is Landon Cooper. They're not afraid to go for it on 4th down with this group.
Well, ooh, but that spot was a little different than I thought it was going to be.
I thought he was much closer. He's about 3 yards shy, so they will send the punt unit out there.
I was with you, Tony. I thought that was up on the 44-yard line, and they're marking it at the 46.
Landon Ogles, a terrific punter. Bird Butler back there. He has muffed a punt earlier today. Ogles is 2nd in the conference with punts inside the 20. He has 14. Inside the 20 doesn't do it justice with him. He's excellent at putting it inside the 10. And he's done that here as a fair catch is called for and made at the 6. You cannot underestimate the value of a punter who knows how to flip the field the way that Landon Ogles does.
No, and he does it in a number of ways. When we were down on the field earlier, Tony, he's just booming his kicks. So not only can he put his leg into it, but then he's got that touch. You know, and right there you see him put the hang time on it so that there's players around the ball. So Bird Butler's forced to catch the ball on the 5-yard line, and that's just a difficult place to manipulate your offense.
So Weber State backed up to their own 6-yard line. Their first drive, a touchdown drive. Since then, they've had a tough time moving it. Now a bad snap, and it results in a safety. Jennings slides down to recover, and Eastern Washington has taken a 9-7 lead.
And he rolled it back.
Just an
Jennings
unforced
didn't
error.
have a chance.
Yeah.
Jennings actually did a good job of making sure he got on the football before somebody else did, because that wasn't even a snap where he had a chance to catch it.
And so now the Eagles jump in front. And not only do they jump in front, they'll get the ball back and field position. And I know we've talked about Ogles earlier, but that's now 2 punts that have affected 2 scores. And I understand that's an unforced error there. But the one that was a booming punt, 64 yards, right. It was a muff, and obviously Weber State's mistakes have helped this.
Well, your point's is well taken. If that happens at the 25, let's say that ball goes in the end zone, it's on the 20. Well, that's a recovery on the 10. It's not a safety.
Right.
So you're right. This is special teams play that has something to do with what's going on in the game.
So Sloan Calder is set to kick from the 20-yard line. And Eastern Washington, who has had their tough times with starting games on the road, they now have a lead in this first quarter.
Well, they broke their streak of on the road having no points.
Mm-hmm. It was a 62-0 gap. That has changed since then. There's Cronquist, who's going to get to about the 30-yard line. That's where Eastern Washington's offense will start.
You know, one of the things that's so important on kickoff return, on kickoff coverage is the blockers need to stay sticky, because these blocks are a little bit longer developing when it comes to kickoff cover. And sometimes those holes close up so quick because initially there's a block and then they shed them, and then there's no way to get back on them. You have to stay sticky when you're trying to block on special teams.
Bell pitching to the right side and wrapped up, brought down. There is Mason Hitchens. And Joe Dale, the defensive coordinator for the Weber State Wildcats, talked a lot about, the takeaways last week were big. But what he's been happiest about is that the tackling and the fundamentals are coming along. They had a game earlier this year. They missed 30 or more tackles. They've been much better in that area, especially today. Up the right sideline. And on the reception, Miles Williams.
Well, and he gets the first down. Cushion just a little bit too big on that one. Probably more than the liking for Joe Dale on that one.
So 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Nate Bell, who connected with 8 different wide receivers last week. Bell, with some traffic around him, finds a wide open receiver at the 40-yard line. It's Cronquist spinning and breaking tackles inside the 30.
Well, Tony, you're going to see on this replay, he looks to his right. He's trying to run the same little out play that he had before. Came all the way back across the field to make that completion. That was great quarterbacking right there by Nate Bell.
Bell looking right all the way, takes a shot to the end zone, and that's too far for Williams.
Well, that's what you'll typically set up after a while. You hit a few outs like they have early in this half, and then you go out and up. And he did have a step. If Nate Bell makes that throw and connects there, Weber State's in a really, really tight spot.
2nd and 10 from the 30. Bell looking left. He's wrapped up and brought down. It was that time Matt Herron made sure he had nowhere to go. Weber State's done a nice job when Bell has tried to take off.
Well, and that play is a play that looks like they've stolen from Ole Miss, where they fake that little speed pitch to the outside and then run quarterback counter backside. Weber State's done a great job of sniffing out any quarterback runs today.
On 3rd and 11. Bell cutting it upfield, wrapped up, and gang tackled in the backfield. That's a huge loss that takes him out of field goal range, as Sione Hala was the first guy to get to him. And they're going to mark him at the 35 with forward progress, so this would be a 52-yard attempt if they wanted to.
Looks like they're bringing their punter in, who's been so good for them here in the first quarter.
Well, I mean, Landon Ogles has put his own offense on the 2-yard line, and then he's also pinned Weber State at the 6. I mentioned before, it is now 15 times he has pinned a team inside the 20. Most of those inside the 10. Whistles blow. And we have a delay of game. Interesting to see what Weber State wants to do here, because Ogles may prefer the space.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains forward down.
That very well was probably a preference for Landon Ogles to give him some more room to lay this up. Here comes Ogles again. Butler lets us go over his head. And it's right there at the 4-yard line officially. That's well, they'll spot it. The Eastern Washington Eagles special teams so far in this game masterful in the punt game.
And just a beautiful, beautiful punt with nice hang time. Allows his teammate to run down there and catch the ball on the 4-yard line. So you're talking about 3 plays now inside the 5-yard line for Eastern Washington.
Just magnificent work. Especially, you have a quarterback who's still in his early time with this program. Dejon Jennings, the transfer from Akron, who's backed up once again. Last time it was a bad snap for a safety. This time it's a handoff to Godley. He hits the wall and gets 1, maybe 2 yards. And that should take us to the end of the first quarter.
And Eastern Washington has done a good job defensively of kind of adjusting to that power play that we were talking about.
Weber State is getting their offense quickly to the line. They may get off another play. They will not. A very bizarre first quarter. And a 9-7.
This is the end of the first quarter. Timeout on the field.
Eastern Washington lead with 15 minutes in the books here on ESPN+. There's President Mortensen, who was a part of the dance team's performance there between quarters. Had Riley Jensen not turned down the invitation, he would have been out there. I know he was their second option, but Riley, your fee was a bit too much.
Well, I would have done it, truth be told, because that's a bunch of winners right there on the field. They're like 9-time national champions.
Yeah, they don't wear rings for nothing. And going to the right side, Boogie Sylvester is tackled in the backfield, and this Eastern Washington defense, especially with the field flipped into their favor, has really started to flex.
Well, it makes it hard, because you really do have to give yourself a little bit of room here to get out from behind the end zone. And the rhythm of the offense just isn't the same. And they've had, two major drives now that have started inside their own 5. It really is a difficult place to call plays.
It's 3rd and 11. Jennings from his own end zone. Throws it deep down the field, and it's broken up. Intended for record. And defensively, a nice play by Dre Greeley.
Well, I don't mind that throw at all. He goes to his veteran receiver, Jalen Record, down the sideline deep. If that play gets intercepted, it's like a punt. If it doesn't, you maybe get a pass interference, or you get a nice play by Jalen Record. And so now not a lot of room. Henry May back to kick, and he'll have to kick this quickly.
May gets rid of it. Cronquist with the short punt keeps it in front. This will roll out of bounds at about the 48. And great field position here for the Eagles when they come back. Eastern Washington by a deuce here on ESPN+.
Basketball fans, Starch Madness is back, returning to downtown Boise in Idaho Central Arena this March 7th to 11th.
Up with Montana and up to the NCAA tournament.
Experience Boise's vibrant downtown with walkable restaurants, hotels, and championship basketball. Make your travel plans today at visitboise.com or by scanning this QR code. March starts in Boise.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
Healing is happening right now, down the street and around the corner. Because for 140 years, MultiCare has been in Washington State. Investing in care beyond hospital walls, growing local programs, and expanding healthcare access to those who need it most. MultiCare, because healthy communities need more than healthcare.
Out here, the turf stands red, and our roots run deep.
For 40 years, Holiday Heating, Cooling, and Electric has been keeping homes across the Inland Northwest comfortable, warm, and powered.
Because this is our home turf too. And we live here, you take care of your neighbors. We're proud to partner with EW Athletics, and we're proud to service the homes that make this place special, with the precision of an engineer and the comfort of a Holiday. Holiday Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
We remind you, get all of ESPN's college football in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. 9-7 Eastern Washington with the lead over Weber State. Alongside Riley Jensen, I'm Tony Parks. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon. Eastern Washington with 1 rushing yard so far in this game. And the defense of Weber State has kept Nate Bell in check in terms of him taking off. But Eastern Washington holds the 2-point lead. A nice PBU defensively by Logan Mackey. That's his 3rd of the season.
Well, he's right in the right position, and that's what Coach Joe Dell talked to you about you know, off camera is that he feels like some of his defensive players are now getting into the right position to make plays, and that's an example right there of just being in the right place, not necessarily making a great play, but being able to make a play.
Feels like they're increasing their chances for that to happen more and more often. Yates around the left side. And he'll pick up 3 or 4 along that sideline. It goes into something you and I have talked about. I mean, you've coached for several years. At some point, it's usually around this point of the season, you've said everything you can possibly say going back to camp. It's not like there's a loss of translation here.
I think the frustration for coaching, you know, 18 to 22-year-olds is that you do tell them during the week what's going to happen, and then they either make the play or they don't. And you've got guys, you coach them up, you tell them where to be, you're trying to help them to make plays, but they either do or they don't. So a lot of times, you know, you come back to a coach and you're like, dude, did you talk to him about that? And you're like, yeah, dude, like 17 times last week. You know, you can't say that. You're not going to throw a guy under the bus, but all this stuff that happens in a football game is covered to the nth degree by coaches.
Cronquist puts them a yard shy. Direct snap here to Jared Taylor. Had a touchdown earlier today. A little bit wide snap. He collects. He needs just a yard, and he's not going to get there. The defense of Weber State continues to be strong in some of the most important moments.
The ruling on the field is runner was short of the line to gain. Timeout on the field.
Sione Hala comes up with a big stop. And Weber State with another TFL defensively. Washington with the lead over Weber State. And the Eastern Washington Eagles dominated in field position. And their last 2 possessions were not able to do anything with it. And finally, for the first time, Weber State, for the first time in a long time, they're not backed up.
And this gives an opportunity to open up the playbook just a little bit.
Jennings out to the right side. This pass is caught by Wafer. And he's going to be close to first down yardage. About a yard shy.
Good throw, good catch. I just feel so much more comfortable when you're not on your own 5.
Wafer, the freshman from McKinney, Texas, with his 12th catch of the year. They need a yard. They're going to get that and more. Bird Butler off to the races, into the red zone and down to the 8-yard line. chased down by Jalen Jenkins.
What I love when you look at the replay of this, Jennings just really runs that read zone option and kind of comes downhill and makes that linebacker make a choice, and he made the wrong choice, and Bird Butler made him pay.
Well, Bird Butler with his longest run of the season. Quick throw to the outside, and this is going to be caught by Session. And he's tackled along that sideline. Nice defensive play by Samurai Anderson.
I think he lost a yard. That's one of those plays, Tony, where you and I have talked before. You got to be super accurate on those quick throws to the outside. Threw it a little bit behind him. Makes it hard to make a football move for Marvin Sessions when he throws it behind him like that.
Second and goal from the 8. It's Butler. He had a 45-yarder earlier in the drive and gets inside the 5. So key third down, a great opportunity here for Jennings to make a play as Weber State in field goal range, on the brink of taking the lead, but they'd like to get cash and not coins here.
I like that statement, Tony.
You know, my basketball broadcasting partner says, you know, I'm going to use that, Joe Cravens. And then he'll say, but of course, I'm going to take all the credit, is the way he'll.
He's not afraid.
Here's Jennings with a toss to the end zone and nearly making the one-handed grab was Kelton Wafer. A penalty marker is in the end zone.
Yeah, that's going to be PI who's grabbing his right arm there. You know, one of those referees had a better view than the other. Typically when you see a receiver sticking out just one arm, it's because the other one's been taken away.
Yeah, it's not because they're trying to be flashy.
Pass interference. Number 25 of the defense. I roll the ball and place to the 2-yard line and an automatic first down.
And that's the biggest part of that play right there, is the automatic first down.
Well, the automatic first down and this rugged run game for Weber State with some really nice moments last week. On the brink of taking the lead here. Boogie Sylvester crashing at the line of scrimmage and held up there.
Just not quite enough of a seam there for Boogie to be able to find. You know, I really like Boogie because he's not the biggest running back in the world, but he's not afraid to put his head down and just get positive yardage wherever he can. And I thought that was a smart run right there. Even though everyone's like, oh, why didn't he bounce it outside? Why didn't he do that? Well, because you need to keep the yardage that you already earned here on the goal line.
Sylvester hit in the backfield. He's going to lose a couple yards. An outstanding surge by Eastern Washington. And Samurai Anderson had a TFL earlier in this drive, and he has another one.
Well, they really dialed up the blitz from the outside there. They're able to get in on the feet of Boogie Sylvester there. Weber State going the wrong direction on second down.
Eastern Washington, the second best red zone defense in the Big Sky Conference. Idaho didn't have a red zone possession last week against the Eagles. Third and goal from the 5. And a timeout by Eastern Washington.
Timeout. Eastern Washington. Timeout on the field.
We'll see what Weber State has on third down and goal when we come back here from Ogden.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
The secret to happiness is discovering your spot. It could be over the mountain or deep beneath the stream. In a quiet place, in a wild place.
Life is good, yeah.
The question is, where does your spot take you? Pocatello. Life is good here.
Let's hear it for the multitaskers, the night shift workers, and small business owners. Let's hear it for all the ways that you show up for the people who count on you. That's your greatness in action. And here at Rocky Mountain Power, it's the inspiration for everything we do. Like WattSmart rebates to help you save energy, tools for managing your budget, and options that power the greatness in all that you do. Learn more at wattsmart.com.
An important 3rd and goal here from the 5. Riley, as offense coordinator, what do you like here?
Well, I like some sort of crossing route where you get a mesh with your wide receivers, but I also like to keep your quarterback on the move so that not only are you running mesh towards the end zone where defenders kind of have to like run over the top of the screen type of thing, but also where your quarterback has a run-pass option. So let's see what they do here.
Jennings is going to hand it off. Sylvester is going to fight for the goal line, and he's going to get there. Well, you liked a lot of mesh. Sylvester liked a lot of muscle. Yep. And Weber State is back in front.
Hey, what do I know? I mean, you know, Mickey Mantle's been scoring touchdowns for years. Clearly, at that timeout, they knew an offensive play. There was a wrinkle there that they knew that they could get 5 yards on a run play. That was a great play call.
Outstanding footwork and power there by Sylvester. Calder for the point after. And it's 14-9. Well, back and forth we go in this first half. But back to your point about field position, once Weber State's offense had a little room to breathe.
They're 2 out of 3. Yeah. They're 2 out of 3 in this game where they have like decent field position. So, you know, when you're backed up inside your 4, inside your 5-yard line, it is just really, really tough sledding. Everybody knows you're going to run the ball to get yourself some room. You know, you don't want to come out with a safety like they did on the one possession, but you know, with the exception of the safety, if you come out of this with, you know, a 14-7 type of feel, you're feeling pretty good about what you're doing offensively because, you know, every once in a while you get behind the chains with the special teams, and Eastern Washington's done a great job of punting the ball inside the 5. Now when they can open up that playbook, they've done a nice job.
A 60-yard drive by Weber State, resulting in their 2nd touchdown of the game. Sloan Calder was set to kick off. And for Weber State, a team that has had some really bright moments in this early part of the year and then shown some inconsistency. And Joe Dale, the defensive coordinator for the Wildcats, said, I mean, he was very blunt about it. He said, as a unit, collectively, we've underachieved. But he said he really felt like this team's best brand of football, especially on the defensive side, was about to break through. 9 points so far for Eastern Washington. One, a safety on a bad snap. The other, a 2-yard drive given up. The defense of Weber State has dictated the terms. And he's a guy that said, look, we just felt like the little things were all there, and there's certain things you can only learn through experience. They've really had a great start to this football game. Now Eastern Washington's offense is going to continue to look for answers here in the first half. Bell, with pressure on the outside, steps inside of it. A low throw and sliding down to make the catch was Jackson Branch.
Well, Bell does a nice job there. He does a great job of keeping his feet alive in the pocket. Just every once in a while, there's some inaccuracy there. You know, that catch turns into a 4-yard gain, a 3-yard gain, but if he throws that on the nails, you know, that turns into a 10-yard gain, and they're moving the chains down the field.
Allen in the backfield here with Bell. And Bell throws close to the sticks as this time it goes to Branch again. He's about a yard shy. Oh, where are they going to mark him? Actually, they marked him with first down yardage. They gave him forward progress all the way to the 35.
A little better throw right there from Bell. When he gets his feet right, he's dangerous.
Well, on 1st and 10, Holla's there, and also in the backfield, it is Zion Finau. So Zion Finau and Sione Holla have been everywhere so far in this football game.
Yeah, we've been calling their name a lot. It's difficult to get your feet right, like I said, when you've got guys right in your face.
Well, it's the different types of pressures that Joe Dale has been bringing. It's had a huge impact on disrupting this Eastern Washington offense. They're behind the chains again. This throw to the right side, caught and getting up to about the 34-yard line, was Miles Williams. So it'll be 3rd and 11.
Well, Holla makes the tackle again, Tony, and you know, it's little things like this. He holds on to the jersey, pulls that guy down on the ground. There was a lot of green grass in front of him if he doesn't. And so you got to love the way Holla's playing. Got to love the way this Weber State defense is playing. They've got him 3rd and 11 again here.
Everybody out on 3rd and 11. Bell rifles one down the field, and it's caught. A 50-50 ball grabbed by Nolan Olm. A guy with over 1,200 career yards and a team captain makes a big play on 3rd and 11. They were just 1 for 7 on 3rd down before that grab.
I think Logan Mackey thought he had the ball.
Another toss, this one down the left side, going for Olm again. He's tripped up. And penalty markers come flying in.
Boy, I don't know about that one. I'll have to look at that on replay. I felt like their feet kind of got tangled up. But there's 3 flags down, so I'm going to trust the referees on this one, Tony.
Pass interference. Number 29 of the defense. The ball will be placed to the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
A penalty called on Devontae Morgan Collins. And going back to the earlier play, Riley, you mentioned it. Sometimes when your offense is struggling, every now and again, you just need a guy to go make a play. And that's what happened with Olm earlier in this drive. A very productive drive here in the second quarter for Eastern Washington. Bell being chased by Holla. Rolls out right and completes up the sideline. Kevin Allen. Another first down. And Eastern Washington is in the red zone.
Well, that's an example where Nate Bell, when he scrambles outside of the pocket and he throws it on the money, it's really, really hard for defensive coordinators to plan for that kind of an athletic play.
Eagles in a groove offensively here. Bouncing to the outside, it's Allen. And he's held up and brought down. What an outstanding tackle by Kevin Enriquez. And another tackle behind the line of scrimmage for this defense of Weber State.
Well, it feels like every time Eastern Washington gets a big play downfield, Weber State has another good defensive play to kind of neutralize it. Big stakes right now with 6 minutes to go in the half for this Weber State defense and for this Eastern Washington offense.
Bell with pressure again. This time chased by Hitchens. Runs to the sideline. Gets up that way before being knocked out of bounds. It'll set up a 3rd down and about 11 to go. A 5-point lead for Weber State. The best offensive drive of the game so far for Eastern Washington. What does Nate Bell have On 3rd and 10 from the 11, a penalty marker down. Bell floats it forward for Yates. It's off his hands. We'll check on the laundry.
Well, I don't know what the penalty is, but that doinked right off of his hands. That was a touchdown pass. He would have walked into the end zone if he caught that.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, illegal hands to the defense, to the face by the defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, half the distance to the goal, and an automatic first down.
Oh, big penalty here. We'll make it 1st and goal.
Fouls by number 3 for roughing the passer.
Let's hit B.J. Carey. Got called for roughing the passer.
Well, anytime you go to the face area of the quarterback, he's fortunate that he didn't lead with the crown of his head. He might have been thrown out of the game.
So 1st and goal for the 6. Bell dancing, lost it. It's fought for as they pile up at about the line of scrimmage.
Who are they going to give it to?
Looked like Eastern Washington got it back.
You never know underneath, right? A whole lot of poking and prodding that goes on underneath.
The ruling on the field is the ball was recovered by the offense, 2nd down.
In those piles.
Let me just say this. Make sure your eyes are closed. And make sure that you're what I would call clenching.
It looked like Bell was able to get that ball back. Very fortunate.
The worst one was the eyes, man. Trying to get you to let go of the football.
Bell being chased, floats to the end zone, a diving attempt. Did he get it? He did. A touchdown rule, Jackson Branch.
We've got another referee came in, said it hit the ground. He's saying no. The sideline ref said yes.
What's the official call here? It appeared to me that he kept it off the ground. And the conversation continues.
Yeah.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Oh.
And Eastern Washington has taken the lead. What a drive by the Eagles. And what a finish on this catch by Jackson Branch.
The previous play and the ruling of a touchdown is under further video review.
It appears to me that he was able to keep that ball up and use his helmet.
Well, and you know so well from doing these games that the initial ruling is so important there, right? Because if there's not indisputable evidence that says that it hit the ground, it makes it difficult. Right?
And this is one of those times, Riley, that I feel like had the ruling on the field been incomplete,
it might stay.
This would be turned over, actually, to a touchdown. I felt like Jackson Branch just did a great job of using his hands and then also using the front of his helmet to just keep that ball off the ground. So they'll take a look at this for the review. The other thing that happens in these games, Riley, it's not like we're dealing with 12 cameras.
Right.
So many times on a review, it's very difficult to overturn it anyway. This was just an outstanding
this was the
play.
Super Bowl, and there's 12 cameras on this.
Zooming in.
We'd get a really, really good view, right?
And this was as quick a review as you're ever going to see, which means it's going to stand.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
You know, Tony, I'm with you. The only thing that was curious about that is there was kind of a little, it felt like when the ball hits the ground, it bounces up a little funny. And that was the only thing that was curious to me, was that the ball kind of bounced up. So the only thing I think is maybe it hit his fingertips and did that bounce up.
Yeah.
Right.
When we talk about a fingertip catch when a guy is reaching, that was one where a guy was pulling it in as a fingertip catch. That was fine work by Jackson Branch. Second touchdown of the season for him. The extra point is good from Soren McKee. And we have a back-and-forth ball game here in Weber County.
Yeah. Now the story of the game really becomes that safety, right? and the field goal position that they've been able to use for Eastern Washington has been, look, their punter has just done a fantastic job of causing Weber to be in bad field position. Now look, this can be a kickoff here. This should be an opportunity for Weber State to have normal field position again. Not perfect field position, but something that's not backed up against the end zone. And when the full playbook has been open for Weber State, they seem to have been able to move the football.
What has to be so big for Eastern Washington is the offense had a very difficult time finding momentum, and they were winning 9-7. Now, obviously, it's 16-14, but that was the first drive that Eastern Washington, from the beginning to the end, made the plays, some key third down conversions, and now they have a great touchdown drive. That was the first time I think the offense looked the way they hoped it would.
Well, I feel like they made some big plays because there was a couple of tackles for loss on that drive that were difficult on the offense, and they still were able to overcome that and be able to get first downs.
Free kick out of bounds. By rule, the ball placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Weber State with the ball at the 35. I know it's not a 2-minute situation, but late in a half. If you're offensive coordinator of Weber State, what do you want to do here with Dejon Jennings and Weber State's offense?
Well, with the exception of the first play of the game, their real big plays have happened in the run game today. So I wouldn't be too greedy here. I would keep running the football. I'd keep taking the easy completions and just see where it takes you.
Jennings so far 6 for 8 through the air. And he's going to take off. A nice move. And he'll get forward for a gain of about 7. Penalty marker comes flying in at the end of the play. And now some extracurriculars. Another canary goes flying. And so we have a live ball foul and a dead ball foul coming up. If both of these are on Eastern Washington, this could be a 30-yard addition to what we just watched. On top of that, with the hit that happened at the end of the play, this could result, if that happened to be targeting, it is possible. They're discussing that right now.
I think that's what the first penalty is going to be, is a helmet-to-helmet shot. The second one, I don't know who it's going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
What'll be interesting, though, Tone, is if it is...
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, targeting. Number 31 of the defense. The aspect of targeting will be under further review after the play. Personal foul, number 79 of the offense, which will be enforced after the determination of targeting is made.
So what I was going to say is, if it was on Weber State, so then what happens is it goes 15, comes back to the place, but it would be an automatic first down if both penalties hold up here.
And after that play, they were mixing it up.
Did you see anything egregious?
Didn't see anything from that replay quite yet, as it may have taken place a little bit after that. But the Wildcats, with that run game, they have tried now to flex on that at the end of that last drive and then at the start of this drive. This is interesting to see what's going to happen as they review this.
I don't mind the quarterback draw call there. Jennings is athletic. Ooh.
What I hate here is that Jennings goes down and then there was a late hit after the play. So it wasn't necessarily on that mix-up that you saw. It was actually Millward with a hit after the play. So I think they get that right. But the way that Jennings goes down like that, and then the way the defender's trying to come in, I always find that so difficult for a defensive player to miss the head area.
After review, the ruling of targeting has been overturned. Only the dead ball foul will be enforced.
So I love that he's able to stay in the game, because that is just near impossible for a defensive player as he's slumping down like that.
Well, especially
to
when
then
he's
miss him.
Trying to come as low as he was.
Right. And you could see that he was keeping his head out of it. So Jalen Jenkins, who also is a terrific part of this defense, a guy that's had an interception in consecutive games. He has 7 interceptions and 7 pass breakups. That's combined for the most in the Big Sky Conference. He's a vital part of what they do. And so now all of a sudden it ends up being the 15-yard penalty back as the dead ball foul, and Weber State is now facing a 2nd and 18. So a big swing there on that play.
Big.
Jennings looking downfield now, checks down. Trying to create with his feet and has room to run. Slides and will be marked at the 35. Original line of scrimmage, it'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, I think what they were trying to run there, Tony, was the play that they ran on the first play of the game where they beat him over the top of the defense. Jennings didn't like it, made a play with his feet, and at least has them in a 3rd and 10 after such a big penalty for 2nd down.
Eastern Washington showing pressure. Each team with 2 timeouts. 3rd and 10, they'll keep it on the ground, and Godley appeared to have a crease. He had a long way to go, but he was tripped up, and it's a gain of 1.
Boy, and if he makes it past that tackle, Tony, there was a lot of green grass. I kind of liked that play call. Don't like that play call in the sense that it's 3rd and 10, right? But he saw the blitz coming. I think he thought his offensive line was going to pick that up.
Well, and Reed's son is the leading tackler for Eastern Washington for a reason. That was a huge tackle there, because if Godley can get downhill, make a move, he might be able to get all 10.
Timeout. Weber State, their 2nd timeout of the half. Game clock operator, please put 2 minutes and 48 seconds on the game clock. This will be 30-second timeout.
I thought that could have been a good play call, but on that play, the person who made the tackle was completely unblocked. So Godley, even making that look like he could have broken it, was like a really, really good play. If they go hat on hat and they're able to get a helmet on that blitzer, I think he has more than 10 yards. I think he has 25 yards before anybody has a chance to get him.
Way is standing back to punt at the 20-yard line. Noah Cronquist standing back at his own 15. Low snap. And this is heading left. It's going to go out of bounds on a line. We'll see where they mark it. Right at the 35, so a nice place for Eastern Washington to start. They still have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout right in front of them.
Well, and you know, that play right there, that was a bad snap, and punters are expecting it in a certain place. So just a nice job there to get the ball off, get it out of bounds. But 2 minutes and 41 seconds in the half is an eternity, Tony.
Bell's going to keep it. Now gets rid of it. Up the sideline, Cronquist with room to run. And he gets into Weber State territory. Down to the 45-yard line. A gain of 20. And Bell has had a tough time running the football today, but great decision there.
Well, I love this play in college football right now. This is actually the old triple option, believe it or not. They just use the pass instead of pitching the ball. And if you're not disciplined in your man-to-man defense, those are the type of plays that happen. And they just ran it again the other way.
Bell on the move, slides down to about the 37 is where they'll officially mark him.
So that time he's able to run the ball because they stayed disciplined on the wide receiver routes. Great play calls there by Eastern Washington.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Timeout on the field.
2 minutes left in the first half. We've got a good one here in the Big Sky. great crowd on hand, some great energy from the fans, and also from the cheerleaders of Weber State University. 16-14, Eastern Washington leading over the Wildcats. And Nate Bell coming off of his best run of the day so far, only 7 yards, but the second best rusher in the Big Sky Conference, that being Bell, the quarterback of Eastern Washington. He's had a tough time overall, but this offense has found some momentum. 2nd and 3 coming out of the 2-minute timeout. And the Eagles hoping to run through the finish line of this first half. And running towards the middle, Taylor is going to pinball his way for first down yardage to the 33.
Well, and that's where Coach Joe Dell was talking about missed tackles. He's got a guy in place there to make the tackle. Just didn't wrap up. And that second effort gets Eastern Washington a first down.
Bell steps up, runs up, and gets forward for a gain of about 6. To the 27, 2 timeouts for Eastern Washington. Quick to the line. Bell with pressure in his face gets away. Has the corner in the first down. Into the red zone and out of bounds. Just outside the 10 to about the 14-yard line officially. And this has been more what Eastern Washington thought their offense would look like today.
Yeah, and I think, Bell right there just showing great feet and great conditioning. What you can see right now is you can see Weber State's defense getting a little bit tired on the chase here. They're dialing up some great blitzes. They're trying to stay in their lanes, but Bell's just been good enough to get outside and really beat them with his feet on these drives.
First and 10 from the 14. Narcisse Yates on the carry to the 11. Now Eastern Washington not afraid to take some time here during this sequence.
Well, the good part for Eastern Washington is field goal or touchdown. They're feeling real good about this first half.
Bell looking right, throwing right, broken up, and a penalty marker comes in. Monte Pate knocked the ball down. And we'll check on this penalty. It's in the secondary.
Pass interference. Number 20 in the defense. By rule, the ball will be placed in the 2-yard line and an automatic first down.
And taking a look at the replay, can't see anything there, but something may have happened earlier.
Hometown crowd doesn't like it.
From the 2-yard line, Taylor, he scored earlier, and he scores again. Eastern Washington with back-to-back touchdown drives. And what a great finish for this offense in the first half after they scuffled badly in their first few drives. They found a rhythm both with the pass game, the run game, the physicality up front. And Soren McKee for the PAT. And Eastern Washington leads by 9.
Wow.
What a response from the Eagles. After getting down and looking for answers on offense, it's come from a number of places. Clearly, Nate Bell has been a huge part of it. But a number of guys have contributed to make some big plays, give themselves an opportunity, and then cash in the red zone.
You know, the beginning of that drive was really set up by what I call those triple option looks, where they throw the ball instead of running the ball. The first one, they got a big play down the sideline. Second one, they got a nice run out of Bell. And boy, that just really set them up to be able to drive down the field and now they were able to convert it into a touchdown. That makes it a 9-point game at halftime. And Weber State's really got to be shaking their heads right now going, man, we played really good defensively. We've played decent offensively, and you would think that they would be ahead, but this is a game where they're behind by 9, and they've got to really dig deep into some solutions on how they're going to slow this Eastern Washington team down now.
Here's a return opportunity for Record. He's tripped up at the 20-yard line. And that's where Weber State will have it again.
Well, 25 seconds. And you are not getting the ball at halftime. It'll be Eastern Washington that gets the ball. Be interesting to see what Mickey Mennel thinks of here.
I believe that was Bjorn Birmingham down there to make that tackle. What a great play. 1st and 10, Weber State. Only one timeout. Sylvester will pick up a handful of yards. We'll see what they want to do here. They're going to go quickly to the line. 10 seconds. They'll get off another play. Sylvester will get the first down. He'll get to the 35. Weber State calling for timeout with 3 seconds left. We remind you, coming up at the half, it is brought to you by Northern and Quest Resort and Casino. We'll have halftime highlights, stats. We'll take a look at other scores in the Big Sky.
Timeout. Weber, their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
While we take a look at all of that and more, Riley, we'll get you ready for the second
Game
half
clock operator, please put 2
of
seconds
action
on the
as
game
well.
clock.
This has been, in many ways, a strange first half. It's been a first half where everything shifted after Weber State's defense was dictating the terms in really that entire first quarter. All of a sudden, the back half of the second quarter, Eastern Washington's offense has come to life. It's a game that's had a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. A little bit of defense, a little bit of offense, a lot of special teams.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I think special teams is the underlying current to this first half for both teams.
Now, Weber State late getting some personnel on the field here, although plenty of time with 10 on the play clock. Two seconds left in the first half. Jennings will dump it down. Sylvester, long way to go, will get out of bounds into Eastern Washington territory, but that's going to do it for the first 30 minutes. And the Eastern Washington Eagles, with a great finish to the first half, they lead by 9. It's 23-14 with this great Big Sky battle between Eastern Washington and Weber State here on ESPN+. score here at the half. The Eastern Washington Eagles, who are coming off of a big emotional win at home, now looking for a key win out here on the road. Alongside QB1 Riley Jensen, I'm Tony Parks. And Riley, if we learned anything from this first half, things can change very quickly as momentum and strength belong to one phase of each team, and then it flipped quickly.
Yeah, it looked like early in the game that the defense for Weber State was playing lights out. There was a couple of unfortunate things in special teams where the defense is playing well. And then it flipped over and Eastern Washington started playing really well offensively. And Weber State, with a couple of possessions inside their own 5 and then maybe one difficult possession, all of a sudden you've got a 23-14 ball game. And it isn't exactly how we felt like it was going to go early in the game.
No, speaking of how it went, let's take a look at how we got to this point as this game started with Weber State and their Beehive-themed uniforms. Boy, the offense got going early and often. Record on this deep ball, that first drive was outstanding, and it resulted in points.
Yeah, and right here you see that quickness of Godley. Breaks a tackle at the end, gets into the end zone. Just a beautiful run right there.
And so 7-0 Weber State on top. Their defense, they were looking outstanding in this one. And for Eastern Washington, their team that features so heavily with Bell, a lot of pressure early and often. He had a tough time, finding momentum as Weber State was doing a magnificent job of keeping him hemmed in, but then a special teams disaster with the muff punt.
Right, and anytime you recover the ball inside the 2-yard line, you can get a free touchdown like that. It can really change the momentum of a game. Eastern Washington right back in it at 7-7 at this point.
Oh, Taylor with the touchdown. Then they pin them deep. A bad snap makes it 9-7 on the safety. You mentioned the free touchdown. Now a free 2 points. And then Eastern Washington offensively trying to find some momentum and capitalize on the extra possession, if you will. But Weber State with a timely TFL that would take them out of field goal range. That would prove to be big. But the tough part for Weber State's offense, they were backed up so often. What a great first half for Holla. Then, as you see with that offense of the Eastern Washington Eagles, they would find some more rhythm as Bell was able to look out and about. As we mentioned Holla earlier, he's just been all around the football, swarming all over the place and helping emotionally lift his team. But Taylor's been a nice addition to the run game. The defense was able to stop them right there. And then later on, Session making a catch to the outside. Weber State finally no longer backed up. A 45-yard run by Butler, his longest of the season, and that was able to help this offense find a rhythm again.
Right, they were able to get into the end zone. There was a 3rd and 5 timeout, and Boogie Sylvester's able to get into the end zone here. Right there was a stop by Eastern Washington, but Boogie's able to get in right here. And now you're feeling like maybe you've changed the momentum again for Weber State.
So Weber State in the lead by the score of 14-9, and with the way the defense was dictating the terms, you could feel good about it. But then a big 50-50 ball that was caught by Ulm that would help extend a drive. And all of a sudden, Eastern Washington's offense catches a little bit of fire. It would result in a touchdown, a great catch by Branch, and now it's Eastern Washington back in front.
Right, and these are all momentum plays. Bell making plays with his feet, getting up the field, and he is just so shifty with his feet. And then when he gets his feet right and he's able to make a throw, he's really, really difficult on this Weber State defense.
This is an Eastern Washington offense that was in negative yardage on their run game for most of the first half, but they found a nice complement of running and passing to eventually go on for 23-14 lead here at the break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the first half stats. We'll look also at some Big Sky scores and get you ready for the second half kickoff. The Eagles up by 9 here on ESPN+. Bring you back to our halftime report. Eastern Washington with the lead over Weber State, 23-14. And Riley, the first half stats, where they look like one thing after one quarter, but what a surge for Eastern Washington in that second.
Yeah, no question that they have found the wrinkle that they were looking for offensively. Obviously, Nate Bell has done a great job with both his feet and his arm to make plays. But I like the little wrinkles where they're giving him the run-pass options, that form of the triple option where I told you he can run the ball or throw the ball out to the sideline. And he's just been able to make play after play after play in the second quarter. And really, Weber State's got to find a way to blitz him and to cause pressure on him, but also to contain him, and that's a difficult thing to do.
Eastern Washington went throughout so much of that entire first quarter without a first down. Now they have 13 of them. They're a team that struggled on third down, and while their third down numbers are still 2 for 8, they made some key plays. That 50-50 ball and that catch by Ohm was so big, and it just felt like the timely plays over and over again went their way.
Well, I think Weber State thought they had an interception there, and that 50-50 ball, absolutely, it's almost like when you've talked about it before, Tony, a dropped interception can be such a momentum changer. If Weber State comes up with an interception there, then they can make, a case that the momentum has changed there, but we don't have it. They didn't get it, and so it's one of those things where you have to keep trying to make plays, and then eventually it happens.
Yeah, for Weber State defensively dictating the terms, you see only 28 rushing yards there for Eastern Washington, but the Eagles were in the negative area for most of the first half. Obviously, late in the second quarter, things changed a bit. It feels like Eastern Washington's found that complementary offense they expect to have.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's 148 yards passing. I mean, that just can't happen. Like you said, only 28 rushing yards, but they've been timely in the way that they've gotten those 28 yards.
All right, those are your first half stats. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half of action. It's Eastern Washington up 9 here at the half. half. Eastern Washington up by 9. And Riley, this is an Eastern Washington team that took momentum into the break and now has a chance to capitalize on that at the start of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think if you're Eastern Washington, you're feeling really good. You survived a first half where Weber State came out and scored on you right away. You went 3 and out. Then your defense was able to get a stop, and then your offense went 3 and out again, and they punt it down inside of the 2 on a muffed punt, and they get the ball, and they're in it 7-7. So they kind of survived like the beginning momentum really being Weber State's. Now they're up 23-14, and they get the ball. I think you're excited about that if you're Eastern Washington, and you've got a little bit of rhythm offensively that you can really count on.
Each team has tried to become better at being a more consistent team over the course of 60 minutes. If you're Eastern Washington, you want to get a big road win here, get back to 500, and be that team that's on the surge upward, capitalizing momentum. If you're Weber State, a team that won last week, but you played from ahead the entire time. If you're the Wildcats, was the most important thing here to respond appropriately, being down by 9 at the break.
Well, and I think this could be a huge opportunity for Weber State to be mentally tough, to show some grit and some moxie, and win a close game at home, right? Like this is important. You have to win close games at home, and if you can come out here defensively and get a stop, if your offense can get back on track and you score a touchdown, you're right back in this game, and the momentum's in your corner.
So Calder's set to kick off for the start of the second half. Cronquist back there deep to return for Eastern Washington. Two teams with identical records coming into this game this afternoon. As a quarterback, did you like having your offense out there at the start of the third also because that's when the fans are still coming back from the break?
Yeah, on the road?
Loud. Yeah,
yes.
When you're on the road.
No question. No question on the road.
Eastern Washington up 9 to start the second half of action. Sloan Calder, almost a guarantee to blast it through the end zone for a touchback into the 25-yard line. The defense of Weber State flowing and flying to the football throughout so much of that first half. Eastern Washington, their last 2 drives have resulted in touchdowns.
Well, I think one of your key coaching points here is you've got to rush, but you got to stay in your lanes so that Nate Bell can't get to the outside and hurt you with his feet, either throwing or running the ball.
Those last 2 drives, 12 plays, 75 yards, and then 8 plays, 65 yards. First play of this drive, Bell with some room to operate. And he tucks and runs and gets just a couple. Great coverage by Weber State defensively.
Well, and they faked what we call power to the right. Went to go for a deep play-action play. It wasn't open. Bell gets a few yards, but another 3rd and long here.
Heron in pain on the tackle. Cronquist the right side. He shoved out of bounds to about the 32. It'll be a 3rd down and 3. Weber State obviously wanting to get off the field here early. 2 for 8 on 3rd down for Eastern Washington. A team that was just 2 for 14 on 3rd down last week.
Well, and you feel a lot better about 3rd and 4 than you do 3rd and 9, so I think Eastern Washington's happy about this first series so far.
Bell pitches. Yes. Stymied for a gain of maybe 1. B.J. Carey on the tackle, and the punt unit will come out on the field for Eastern Washington.
Boy, and B.J. really comes up from that safety position, and he kind of hit him like a palm tree in a hurricane right there. That was a freaking big hit.
You have been spending more time with Joe Cravens with something like that. I knew something was going on.
That was just a big hit, man.
Something didn't feel right when I saw you today. Now I think I'm figuring it out.
I'm channeling my inner Joe Cravens.
Ogles has had a great day punting the ball. A liner that's caught by Bird Butler at the 16, and great punt coverage to hold him up for a gain of maybe 2 on that return. Great special teams all day long for the Eagles of Eastern Washington.
Well, I kind of like that punt, like a line drive, just kind of keeps you off balance as a kick returner. So you don't know whether it's coming high, whether it's coming wobbly, whether it's coming spiral. Good special teams today from Eastern Washington.
First possession of the second half for Weber State. And that first drive for the Wildcats, 75 yards and a touchdown. And Jennings diving forward to about the 22.
Boy, I can't tell if that was a planned run or not. He had a receiver that had just a quick out down towards us that was wide open, but it felt like he was looking to run it.
Two touchdown drives on the day for Weber State. That last TD drive, 8 plays and 60 yards. They've had a nice combination of running and passing when they find that rhythm. And trying to get off to a great start here in the third. Godley was returned to action today after missing last week. Tackled at the 25.
When they're trying to kick out big number 4 Isaiah Perez on their little power concept there, and man, Isaiah is just he's a load out there. Really set the edge well. Just a couple of yards for Weber State on that power play.
Well, Perez does so many things so well. Team captain. He also has 2 block kicks this year. Does a little bit of everything. Jennings on third down. A nice throw, and it is caught by Benny up at the 45-yard line. A big third down conversion.
Boy, Noah Benny, started out his career at the University of Utah as a wide receiver. They moved him to tight end. Then he transferred here to Weber State as a tight end, and he is just a great tight end for this Weber State offense. Ran a great route there. Got his big paws up there for a big third down conversion.
And early movement, and it'll back Weber State up by 5. Everybody but the center.
Ball start. Number 71 amongst others. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
He's like, why did you say amongst, why did you mention my number and then say amongst others? Just say everybody. You don't have to call out Ortega.
I saw a replay back to an NFL call a long time ago that was awesome, and he was like, yeah, number 71 was giving him the business down there. Some of these calls, you do wonder why they picked on him, right?
Usually when that happens, what we just watched, it's usually a center.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a little late.
Jennings first and 15. Around the right side, throws towards the sticks, and it is picked off. 6th game in a row. Eastern Washington has had an interception. 3rd game in a row, Jalen Jenkins has picked off a pass.
Well, and I'm not sure I love that decision. That time Jennings scrambles out to the right. He's looking out to the right. And just not a great decision right there. Turns the ball over, not exactly what they were looking for offensively to start the second half.
Certain players, you can't really appreciate how good they are until you see them in person, and Jalen Jenkins is that player. I mean, the way he closed on that, yeah. He's outstanding. Yates to the left side. He's brought down for a gain of about 1. But Jenkins, you watch him on film, he's impressive. You see him in person, he's eye-opening. His speed, and they always talk game speed. It's that breaking on the ball, the way that you said, the way he closed on it and finished that off. And now we have everybody but the center on Eastern Washington.
See who they call this one.
Yeah, who gets called out this time.
False start. Number 18 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
He didn't even say and others. He just,
okay.
He just said 18.
And technically, he may have been the first one to move.
Fair.
Bell has this one get away and dives on top of it. Back at the 24. Well, mistakes don't always come with the same price tag. Weber State had a snap like this, but they were at their own 6. It resulted in a safety. This could just be a drive-killing moment here. It's 3rd and forever. Weber State trying to play deeper than the deepest. 3-man front and dumping it down to Yats for a minimal game. It's Hollow once again with another tackle.
Well, 2 big defensive stops for Weber State's defense to start this second half. Now it's on the offense for Weber State to find some rhythm and to find some wrinkles here to get back into this football game.
Holla now with 11 tackles on the afternoon.
That's good. That's a good number for the whole game.
Landon Ogles rolls out left, and a bouncer will go up to Bird Butler. He fields it as he falls forward on top of it at the 35. We'll step aside. Eastern Washington by 9.
Healing is happening right now, down the street and around the corner. Because for 140 years, MultiCare has been in Washington State. Investing in care beyond hospital walls, growing local programs, and expanding healthcare access to those who need it most. MultiCare, because healthy communities need more than healthcare.
Out here, the turf stands red, and our roots run deep.
For 40 years, Holiday Heating, Cooling, and Electric has been keeping homes across the Inland Northwest comfortable, warm, and powered.
Because this is our home turf too. And we live here, you take care of your neighbors. We're proud to partner with EW Athletics, and we're proud to service the homes that make this place special, with the precision of an engineer and the comfort of a Holiday. Holiday Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
Definitely. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
All right. Thanks. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Big W out there on the mountainside here in Weber County, where the Wildcats trail the Eastern Washington Eagles 23-14. And for the Eagles, the 100th game in the history of the head coaching career at Eastern Washington for Aaron Best. He has been with that program 29 years in total. And coming off of his 12th victory against a ranked opponent that was last week against Idaho. He's a guy who has been a part of this program in Cheney for a long, long time. First down for Weber State. Godley is going to try the right side, has room to run into Eagles territory, and refusing to go down, knocked out of bounds. And a huge chunk of yards, 27 for a first down.
Boy, and as you watch this replay, man, he just bounces this ball to the outside. He keeps going down the sideline, speed and strength. Godley, just a great run there on first down.
We're happy to have him back, and he gets it back, nearly goes down, bounces out of it, and gets forward for a gain of 12. That was really close when he was slumped down there for a moment.
Right. Fought the turf monster, then a little shake and bake. Boy, 27-yard run, a 12-yard run. This is fun.
First and 10 from the 26-yard line. It's Sylvester in the backfield. More of that running game, and Turf Monster got him. No gain.
Boy, interesting. Both of them slipping kind of in the same area there, in between the hashes.
The run game for Weber State today, winning in that category 159-18, but they trail the game by 9. They have an average of 7.2 yards a carry.
That usually spells good news.
Sylvester carrying the pile there for a bit to the 21. So 3rd and 5. Well, it's been a heavy dose of run on this drive. What do you like here, Riley?
Well, I feel like Coach Mickey Mennel has been a heavy dose of run on 3rd downs. Anything under 5, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs it here. Oh, typically, this is a little long for a run to me.
Sylvester picked up a 3rd and goal from the 5. Record's going to try to pick up a 3rd and 5, and he is hit. For a loss of 1, Josiah Good got to him first. And there to help him out was Reed's son.
So after a couple of really nice runs by Godley, not able to convert in the red zone here.
38-yard attempt for Sloan Calder. Trying to make this a 1-possession game again. And he does. Right down the middle. Weber State, they get points on the board in the second half. And they've taken a 9-point deficit down to 6 with 5:57 left in the 3rd. Late October in college football is certainly fun. And Riley, coming up next month, some big games, including a big one next week here with Weber State University against Montana. You have great games all throughout November. I loved it in the FCS with playoffs. 24 teams go. Now in the FBS, there's 12. You and I talked about it for decades, about how much better it would be for the game. And we've seen that at the FBS level. We love it here at the FCS level as well. As a player, what was this window of time like where you know you have big games coming up, you're kind of in the middle of that season, you have your academics, your athletics, but you're still trying to become the best version of yourself and work through the mistakes.
Well, I think one of the things that people don't talk about is it's very, very hard physically this time of year. Everybody's banged up. Everybody's got some sort of shoulder hurt, you know, a knee's hurt, an ankle's hurt. You got to learn how to play well even in that pain.
Bell and the Eastern Washington offense back out on the field. Gets away from some pressure and will throw it downfield. Leaping attempt, it's incomplete. As Cronquist was trying to nab that one. And defensively.
Well, and Bell had a lot of green grass in front of him on this. If he doesn't throw the ball downfield, right. I think he picks up a good 10, 15 yards.
Todrick Dixon there to knock that ball away, and down right now for Weber State, Josh Hardy.
Timeout on the field.
An outstanding player for Weber State, a guy that the coaching staff feels like he's really started to emerge. We'll update you the latest news on Josh Hardy. We'll continue with our third quarter action after this.
What the tech? Bad office tech is the worst. But guess what? You don't have to put up with it anymore. Fisher's Technology makes IT, printing, and security crazy easy so you can focus on what really matters. We're your local tech experts with personality, proudly serving the Northwest with managed IT services, copiers and printers, document automation, security cameras, and more. We make office tech simple and stress-free. So if your office needs a tech glow up, it's time to call Fisher's. Tech yeah.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
So, you're not a robot?
If you'd like to speak to a robot, press 1. A little robot humor? How can I help? Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
You're a good uncle for doing this.
Well, here goes.
Got it.
Get out.
You do enough things you don't want to do. Make sure your career isn't one of them with the help of PAX. Discover your healthcare career. Apply at PAX.com.
It's in the thrill of starting strong, making gains. It's the real connections in between. It's in the satisfaction of being on the move. That brilliant feeling of getting somewhere.
You see Josh Hardy earlier, number 17, as he was being pulled down there, and he ends up injured on this play. He had to be helped off the field. We're hoping he's going to be okay. We'll update you on him as soon as we have any information. Screen pass, nice coverage. Chudney Hala, what a day for him as he brings down Yetz. This guy's just racking up the tackles today.
Well, it's so good at wrapping up the defender. And really just tackling him to the ground, making sure tackles all day long today.
A double-digit number. He now has 11. 3rd down and 10. Weber State will send 4. Bell in some trouble, and for the 4th time today, he's been sacked and brought down by Zion Finau. What a day for him.
So between Hala and Finau, it has been a big day defensively, and that was an example where we talked about where they stayed in their lanes as they were rushing. Nowhere to go for Bell. And now, 3 big stops by the Weber State defense here in the 3rd quarter.
Ogles, an outstanding punter. There's a variety of different ways he can get rid of it. Pop this one up high in the air. Butler makes the catch, hit right away, stays up. Now brought down at the 41-yard line. Great field position for Weber State. A 6-point game. And a great battle between these two teams this afternoon.
Good field position for Weber State on their own 42.
That downhill run game has been a good friend of this offense today for Weber State. And it was really grinding out the yards in that last drive until a slip and a fall. If you're Mickey Mental, you go right back to it?
Oh, I think so. I think the run game, they've found some seams in the run game.
Godley, who had a big chunk of yards last time, has a good first down run this time. Into Eastern Washington territory, continues to fall forward. He has 13.
Well, that time you see the guard and the tackle coming around, really landing their blocks. Godley makes a cutback. Another big gain on first down for Weber State.
Weber State averaging over 7 yards a carry today. This throw is incomplete as he was going for Kelton Wafer.
Wow, I really felt like that was an early hit, Tony.
Ambrose Marsh on the coverage.
Coaches for Weber State upset about that call. I really did think that was early.
Jennings today, 9 for 13, 96 yards through the air. Throws, same side again. Wafer slips a tackle on the catch. Has a first down at about the 31. A gain of 14. And Kelton Wafer, who came into today with 11 catches, set some really nice moments in this freshman season.
Well, and you know, plays like that where you break a tackle, Tony, they can be momentum changers because your defense, your offense feels pumped up.
Spinning his way forward for a gain of about 4 was Herbacek. Weber State scored on their last possession. On the move again. Jennings surveys the field down the middle, and it's broken up, incomplete. And a collision, a couple of players down here at this moment. Late getting up is J-Row.
I don't know what the route was on that play, but it's never a good sign when two receivers are in the same place running into each other.
And Ambrose Marsh was out there in coverage as well. And also slow getting up was Mason York. 3rd down and 7. Jennings hit and sacked. Closing down on it quickly was Tarek May. So this would either be a 52-yard attempt, as it's 4th and 14.
I think they're going to go for it, but man, that's a mistake by the quarterback there. When you're in the red zone, you cannot take a sack, especially if you're in field goal position. We're really now on the outskirts of any good field goal kicker's range here.
Calder looking to cut the lead in half. He hit on his last field goal attempt. And whistles blow, and I believe we have a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And this may change the mind on what to do. It would be a 57-yard attempt. Calder is still out there on the field, and everything shows he's going to attempt it from 57. Either the lead will be cut in half or it'll be great field position for the Eagles. Sloan Calder has a lot of leg. Blocked. Scrambled on the return. Benny has it. And he's brought down at the 45. Special teams continues to shine for Eastern Washington. And a late hit against the Eagles. And now a punch. And another flag.
So, Tony, I think that's going to be 2 penalties on Eastern Washington.
And both will count.
Yep.
This would be a great defense or a great special teams play by Eastern Washington combined with a 30-yard loss in field position. This would take them back
to the 30.
To the 25. You have 5 penalty flags out there on the field right now, at least 2 penalties, as you mentioned. And as I mentioned, it was either a really strong shove or a punch.
Right.
From what took place in the middle of that skirmish. And so a lot to sort out for this officiating crew, but this goes back into trying to move to becoming a better team. You can't make a great play and follow it up with mistakes that come back to be costly.
Well, and on the other side of the ball, you're wondering what happened with Weber State with that delay of game penalty, because what that does, it changes the trajectory of the ball on the kick. So we don't know whether he was going to make that kick or not, but he has to put the trajectory a little bit lower when he's kicking 57 yards.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 28 of Eastern Washington, his first of the game. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1 of Eastern Washington. 15 yards will be enforced and a first down.
What is interesting here is they've assessed just one of them. They've done just 15 yards because they were both dead ball fouls. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 40. But back to the point there, Riley, they're on the brink of field goal range. Now they have a little more work to do. Any score would move it to a 2-possession game again. But May with the big sack backed them up. Then a delay of game, then a blocked field goal. Left side stymied for a gain of just 1 was Kevin Allen. Gets to the 41.
When the safeties for Weber State have been coming up making some big plays in the run game. Look for Eastern Washington with the fact that these guys are coming up quick in the run game. Look for some sort of play action that might come up here soon.
Bell throws low and it's incomplete, going for Allen. It's 3rd and long. Eastern Washington just 2 for 11 on 3rd down today. Weber State has been able to get pressure regularly on Nate Bell. They show 3, a 4th creeping, and now a 5th on the way. Bell in trouble. Bell is hit and down at the 43. Finishing the play, Mason Hitchens. A guy that the coaching staff can't say enough about. They said he lives in our building, by the way.
Well, another great blitz, staying in their lanes, and Bell almost snuck out of that and got them a first down, but now they've got to punt the ball, and they were already in field goal position before that big penalty.
One of the best punters in the conference and arguably in the country, who's had a great day so far. Blast away at this. Butler on the bounce. Fields it at the 13 and wrapped up right away. I mean, every area of their special teams, they execute, and they execute well.
Well, Landon Ogles just really, what I like about his punting game is he just keeps you off balance, right? One's super high, one's a line drive, one makes you run across the field to catch it. One is a spiral kick, one is an end-over-end kick. He keeps you guessing, and that makes it really, really difficult.
Weber State had a punter who was very similar to that, Blake O'Neill. And yes, with Michigan and Michigan State playing later today, we know. Jennings to throw. And to the outside, Sylvester, rather godly, is hit, wrapped up, and he is down. And hobbling to the sideline. And he's not going to get there. He'll have to be attended to beforehand, and that did not look good.
And Jalen Record will want that play back. It's supposed to be a little swing route out to the running back. Wide receivers are blocking, and Jalen just missed his block. Defender hit Godley low.
Well, having Godley back has been so big for Weber State. At this point in the game, Godley 8 carries, 95 yards. He's been a huge part of the offensive success all game, but in this third quarter, he's had some really nice moments. They're attending to Godley right now. Weber State, some up and down moments throughout this afternoon. In this third quarter, they've been able to play with that physicality they expected to have all game. Teammates helping Godley off the field.
Boy, and we wish the best to Godley. Not looking good right this moment.
So at the 11-yard line, Weber State does not have to run a play before the third quarter comes to an end. A little bit late getting lined up as the clock is at 5. Now they're set. And they do not get the snap off. That's the end of the third quarter. It's a 6-point game.
Prior to the snap, the game clock expired to end the third quarter. Timeout on the field.
The Eastern Washington Eagles up 23-17 with 3 in the books. minutes of football between the Eastern Washington Eagles and the Weber State Wildcats. What has been a great game here so far this afternoon. It was a 9-point game at the break and a 6-point game here at this moment. Weber State backed up at their own 10-yard line, a 2nd and 14. Jennings, pocket holds, fires to the right side, and a diving attempt. It's incomplete. Marvin Session had that one go just a bit too far. The sideline of Weber State wanted a penalty. They felt like he was held up.
Well, he certainly wrapped his arms around the legs of the receiver there.
Weber State 2 for 8 on 3rd down. Jennings on the day, 11 for 17. Handoff will go up the middle. Herbacek, a long way to go, and he's going to be brought down just a couple yards shy of the 1st down. And the punt unit will likely make their way out onto the field. And so Eastern Washington gets what would be a very important 3 and out here after their offense has had a tough time capitalizing on that momentum they had at the end of the first half. That 3rd quarter didn't go as well as they wanted it to.
Well, on a punt play here for Weber State, if you're Mickey Mental, you feel good about it.
Cronquist has this bounce in front of him and roll its way, a friendly Weber State bounce for about 20 yards to the 31. That's where Eastern Washington will take over when we return. 23-17 Eagles.
At Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino, indulgence knows no bounds, and every moment is a winning experience. Unwind in style with luxury rooms, stellar live entertainment, and delicious dining for every appetite. Whether you're looking for an adrenaline-packed weekend or a midweek recharge in total comfort, we've got something for everyone. Thrill meets chill at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. You just unwind here.
I'm on another level. We about to turn it up. You wanna beef with me? We wanna see what's up. They don't know where I've been. They don't know what I've done. I'm on another level. We about to turn it up.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Eastern Washington with their first possession here of the 4th quarter. In the 3rd, they had 4 possessions, all punts, and minus 7 yards. That was after an outstanding 2nd quarter. Now they're hoping to find that rhythm once again offensively here in the 4th. Nate Bell back to throw, goes right, and this pass is going to be caught by Taylor, and he swung around and pushed out of bounds. Well, that Weber State defense has sharpened that saw now here in the second half.
Yeah, Logan Mackey with just a textbook tackle right there. Perfect position.
And a loss of 2. Bell's got it. Goes left. Cronquist trying to make a man miss and is eventually brought down at the 35. This will set up a 3rd and 6.
Well, and that's one of those plays where if he hits him in stride, he maybe gets a few more yards, makes it a little 3rd and short, a little bit more of a strike, just a little bit behind him. 3rd and 6, definitely manageable.
Bell over the middle, it's caught, and he's a yard shy of the first down. Cronquist went to the ground after the reception. Eastern Washington now 2 for 13 on 3rd down, and a penalty marker, though, in the backfield.
Personal foul, tripping, number 7 to the offense. It'll be a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
A rare call in this game. Not that it doesn't happen, but it's not easily caught or not easy to know that it was intentional. But a tripping call nonetheless, and a correct one.
Yeah, saw that on the replay.
It'll amaze you when you go back and look at film how often that call is missed, because sometimes it just looks like bodies are falling.
Yep.
But that's a huge penalty, and it makes it 3rd and 21. Weber State drops 8. Still pressure on Bell. Bell scampers forward for 5, and Weber State is going to get the ball back.
Well, more than anything, Tony, that penalty becomes field position, right? So nice open field tackle there.
Yeah, although you have 21 yards of breathing room, that doesn't mean holding him for 5 isn't huge.
Right.
Because, as you mentioned, especially with a guy like Landon Ogles, who has had a huge impact on this game, standing back at his own 10. Butler with some room to operate. Being chased and hit for a gain of 1. Boy, that coverage once again. All over it for Eastern Washington. And that time on the chase was Marcus Nixon.
Well, on a great punt, great coverage. Flip the field just a little bit.
A 6-point game. We step aside with under 12 to play here in the 4th. great football game here this afternoon. Weber State and Eastern Washington. The Eagles up by 6. And Dejon Jennings and the Weber State offense back out onto the field. And they'll start from the 25-yard line. The run game has had a nice day so far for Weber State. And on top of that, they've been able to put together some quality drives, but have not been able to finish as many of them. Herbacek cut down a loss of 2 yards. And right there in the backfield, Tarek May, who's had a great day with a sack earlier this afternoon.
You got a tackle for loss. You always love it as a defense coordinator if you can get a -2 on first down, and that just wasn't blocked very well. Not really anywhere to go for Herbacek.
Jennings pumps and runs. He'll slide down. And they'll mark him at the 29. A late flag. Should result in the first down.
Eastern hasn't been super smart on some of these hits on the quarterback.
Personal foul. Late hit, number 26 of the defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run, and an automatic first down.
Yeah, Reed's son not happy with that. He signaled as if he had been pushed into him. I'm not quite sure. Or that he said he put his arms out to try and just brace himself. That may be what he's saying on that. And then he didn't necessarily go all the way through with the hit. Either way, it's a 15-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10, Weber State at the 44. Herbacek slicing through, and he picks up 8.
Boy, these running backs for Weber State, they just know how to run downhill. Opening up a seam there, man, you feel good about an 8-yard run on first down every time as an offense coordinator.
Love the footwork of Sylvester, Godley, and Herbacek. And they've been running the football this afternoon. To the near side, making a man miss his Session. He'll have enough for a first down.
And Session's a big, strong, big hands, big, strong receiver, breaks tackle, gets a first down, gets them moving in the right direction.
Jennings and company now into Eastern Washington territory. Here is Jennings loading up for a deep ball, a jump ball, and it's broken up. He was going for Benny.
Boy, looking down there, Benny had a step. Ball just a little bit underthrown, and Benny is really good at coming back to the ball. So I can see why you just wanted to give him a chance, but on that particular throw.
Dre Greeley has had a nice day here this afternoon. He's been involved in a handful of plays, including that one there at the goal line.
Offensive line for Weber State on that last play just did a really nice job of protection.
And to the left side, not much there for Herbacek.
Boy, and I really thought that play was developing. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Noah Benny was coming around. I thought he was going to land that block. They're going to be able to get another nice run play, but it just didn't turn out the way it looked like it was going to go.
This team today, that being Eastern Washington, they've been outgained 306 to 178, but this defense has come up with some timely plays in some big moments. 3rd and 10. Jennings to the sticks. It's caught by Session. Will they give him all 10? They give him 9. 1 yard shy. Oh, the crowd did not like that spot.
Well, interesting, because Sessions did reach the ball out there at the end, and I don't think either one of the referees had a really good angle to tell you where it was. So watch this. He reaches the ball out.
The ruling on the field is a catch for a first down.
And now they've moved the ball up an entire yard. So where they put it on the sideline was the 35. Then they moved the ball to the hash mark and put it down on the 34.
Well, I'd be having a hard time with that if I was the...
And the sticks are taking so long to get moving because they didn't realize the ball had been moved up.
Right. So first down, Weber State. It's a nice throw and catch.
Weber State now 3 for 11 on third down. Herbacek drives the legs forward for 4. You feel you get to this time of the game, and if you're a coaching staff, you're just hoping that the focus sharpens even more.
Right.
Because focus has been the big part of the conversation from both coaching staffs coming into today's game.
Well, and you know, Peyton Manning always says, you know, every play comes down to 4 or 5 plays. Problem is you just don't know which ones they're going to be, and that's where the focus component comes in, right?
Another few yards there for Herbacek to the 33. With the way Weber State is running the football and where they are on the field, they like to run in a 3rd and 3 type situation. The throw to the outside. Benny slips a tackle, stays up, and gets forward to the 24. That's enough for a first down.
Boy, just a great job. Benny gets his mitts up, catches the ball and splits people and gets that first down. That's big for this Weber State offense late in the 4th quarter.
The senior from Holiday, Utah, helps continue to keep this drive alive. A couple of third down conversions. Now Ferguson to the 20, his first carry of the day. Spencer Ferguson, 6-foot redshirt freshman from Kaysville, Utah, just right down the road here from the campus at Weber State.
Boy, you'll take 4 yards on first down right now. Every inch counts.
Jennings fakes to Herbacek. Down the middle, incomplete. Was going for Kelton Wafer.
Golly, I thought he put that one right on the money. Yeah, it's in traffic. Felt like Wafer could have caught that one.
Weber State had 2 third down conversions the entire day, and then in this drive, they've converted their last 2. Jennings hoping to make it 3 in a row now. From the 20, it's 3rd down and 6. Herbacek moves up. They just get the snap off, and it's over the head of Jennings. Jennings has to go Fran Tarkington. Rolls out right. Throws to the end zone too far, and if anything, Jennings just simply made sure you didn't have a big loss of yardage. It would be a 37-yard field goal attempt.
I think with the way you're feeling about your defense, I think you got to kick the field goal here.
Absolutely. It would cut the lead in half. Calder, who had his last kick blocked, but that was from 57. This is from 37. Sloan Calder off the upright and good. Whew. According to Calder, the newspaper said it was right down the middle. He'll take him any way you can get him. It's a 3-point game with 6:23 left to play.
Got ourselves a ball game. I didn't mean to.
No. I think no.
I mean to talk after you, and then I was, oh crap! I'll just show you. No.
And the Eagles have had a tough time with their offense in this second half after they had control going into the halftime break. Cronquist will have a return from the 1. And Cronquist tripped up just over the 20-yard line.
Boy, and he looked like he had a lane there, Tony.
Well, if you're Eastern Washington, you were hoping the special teams might be able to come up with another huge play on the day. It's been the Weber State defense who owned the early part of this game, then had a tough time in the second quarter. They were dominant in the third. And they've kept this Eastern Washington offense quiet all throughout the second half. Nate Bell and company with their lead cut down to 3. They're going to try to come up with what could be a game-ending possession here. Throw down to the left side, incomplete, contact and a flag. Pate is irate. He does not agree with this call. It'll be pass interference.
Whew.
Pass interference. Number 20, the defense. Penalty being forced to the spot of the foul and an automatic first down.
Wow, that looked like, on the replay, Tony, that looked like to me they're within 5 yards and they're jockeying with their hands.
Taylor, the left side, he's cut down. Pate just goes right on to the next play. Pate, according to the defense coordinator Joe Dale, said this guy's quickly becoming a shutdown corner, and he's taken on a leadership role that this defense absolutely needed. He's also a chess player, and a very good one.
Well, he plays college football. I mean, that is chess.
Well, he said the reason why he took that sport on is he lost and was embarrassed and then never wanted to be embarrassed again, so he took it personal. Bell on the run. What a nice throw and a catch on the move by Jackson Branch. That'll move the chains, and this offense badly needed something like this.
They really did, and you know, they're almost going into their 4-minute offense. We get down into that time where if they get another couple first downs, it's going to be hard for Weber State to stay in this game.
Eastern Washington did not have a first down in the entire third quarter. They had negative yardage overall. In this fourth, a key possession here for them. They can take some more time off the clock. 5 minutes left in the game. Taylor with a couple of touchdown runs today. A 1-yard gain here. This defense has done quite a bit today. 23 points up on the board for Eastern Washington. 9 of those really sparked by the special teams, if you will, of what Eastern Washington brought. But the one thing Weber State has not been able to do is get a takeaway. And they may need one here in the late moments of this game.
Just a key possession for both teams right here.
Bell is in motion. It's Taylor with the ball, and he'll dive forward. So about the 44, it'll set up 3rd down and 5.
Well, that's a tough formation for Weber State when they got 2 quarterbacks in the game. They're faking it to one, running wildcat with another. They could go, you know, a sweep pass. They could go play action pass. I mean, there's so many different options there.
Each team with 3 timeouts. Eastern Washington is 2 for 13 on 3rd down. And now 2 for 14. A great tackle by Mason Hitchens against Taylor. This is the 2nd consecutive week now. Eastern Washington's been 2 for 14 on 3rd down. And Weber State's defense has just been on point for so much of the day.
So now the best part of the Eastern Washington special teams is on the field. Weber State will get this ball with just under 3 minutes to play.
Ogles masterful at pinning teams deep. Puts that one towards the sideline. We'll see where they're going to mark this one. A rare situation where Ogles doesn't get it as deep as he'd like it. Weber State will have the ball at the 25-yard line.
So 2:59 to go, 75 yards, all 3 timeouts. Weber State's in a good position, and obviously now you're in 4-down territory on every single time you have the ball now.
And the entire playbook is open here. When you're a coach and you want to see young players or inexperienced players emerge, what a great opportunity for this offense to prove something here. A field goal to tie, a touchdown to take the lead. Jennings rose to record, spins out of a couple of tackles and gets up to the 31.
Good job by Jalen Record there. Good throw, good catch. I'd love to see, on every possession, I'd love to see the first pass completed. If you can complete that first pass, usually leads to good confidence.
Some tempo here for Weber State in their offense. Jennings, sidearm throw. It's caught for a first down. Marvin Session
protecting that football.
Approaching that 2-minute timeout. Jennings connected on the first 2, now his 3rd during this drive. Herbacek stays up. Is swung around at the 40-yard line, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout in a 3-point game.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Timeout on the field.
Eastern Washington trying to hang on. Weber State trying to rally back here on ESPN+. Opportunity for each team as Weber State trying to rally from behind. They were down 9 at the half, a couple of field goals in the second half, and a chance to tie or take the lead on this drive right here. A 2nd and 6 from the 40. Jennings 3 for 3 so far on the drive. 17 for 26 at this point in the game. Pocket holds down the middle, intercepted. 2nd interception of the day for the Eastern Washington defense, and it's Ambrose Marsh with the takeaway.
And I think we're going to see on the replays, wide receiver fell down. Sometimes you look at a play like this and you're like, what in the world? Where's he throwing that ball? There's a wide receiver down on the ground. I think he was trying to throw a dig right there. Now, not completely over for Weber State. Well, if they can make a stop here.
If Weber State has done one thing really well defensively, it's not getting takeaways, but it has been getting 3 and outs, especially in this second half. They'll need a 3 and out here. Bell and Eastern Washington's offense very quiet in this second half. Bell will dive forward and get just a yard. Timeout. Weber State to use their first here.
Timeout. Weber State, their first timeout of the half, 30 seconds.
When you're a QB in this situation, clearly protect the football. Everybody understands the most important things. Is there a such thing as being too careful in these moments and making it too easy not to do what you're trying to do, which is get 10 yards?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think right here, I think a punt's a good play, to be honest with you, if you're on the offense. You've got to take care of the football. You got to make sure you're not getting penalties. And you got to make sure that if you don't get a first down, that a punt gets delivered and that you make them go the maximum amount of plays. Now, yes, like
did you ever have plays that were aggressive enough to give you a real shot in these moments to get quality yards?
I don't think so.
That are still low risk. Okay.
No.
Bell takes it himself, and he's going to be very close to the 45. He's 3 yards shy
Timeout
of the marker.
Weber State, their second timeout of the half, 30 seconds.
Didn't know if you ever had something like a rollout, not that you would throw dangerously, but different coaches will have different, like Dave Schramm had something unique for these.
No, I think you can do stuff like that now with these quarterbacks. When I played, most of us were pocket passers. They weren't using like the run pass option as much, the RPO, where you have a chance to bootleg it out and do those kind of things. But, man, that play right there, he wasn't careful at all. He was running with his hair on fire. He got it down to a 3rd and 3. That's a big run, a big-time run right there by Bell.
And now Weber State desperately needing the stop here. Weber State late with some personnel on the field. And a flag is going to give Eastern Washington a first down. Weber State appears to get the stop, and a penalty is going to move the chains.
The too many players on the field?
They had people coming off and people coming on.
Illegal substitution. Too many men on the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
And especially to have that take place after a timeout. And the defense was able to get the stop. And it still moved the chains. Now, Eastern Washington can't quite take it to a knee, but very close. Excuse me, they can take it to a knee. The game is over. They've tried to start the clock, as it should be. But now they started the clock with 15 on the play clock. They're going to reset everything. Now they're having a discussion. The clock should not start because the penalty took place.
Game clock operator, please put 1 minute and 32 seconds on the game clock and start on my whistle.
So then that should end it. They can take this under a minute 20. And with the one timeout Weber State has, they're going to have to do this again.
Game clock operator, please put 1 minute and 32 seconds on the game clock and start on the whistle.
So that would mean that if Weber State does not, well, they've had a tough time with the game clock and the play clock again. They're not starting both of them at the same time. And that is where the problem keeps existing here.
Game clock operator, please put 1 minute and 32 seconds on the game clock. Start on my whistle.
So what they're trying to do is get both clocks to start at the same time. And now They do. And the crowd gives a round of applause. Eastern Washington can take this to a knee and end the game. Weber State has one timeout, and that will not be enough. And the Eagles, who had a tough time offensively in the second half overall, and now they're going to run a handoff. And that, with Bell slipping on that handoff, that could have been bad.
Why would
I have no idea why they did that.
Weber State, their third and final timeout, 30 seconds.
And Aaron Best is a very intelligent coach, and I don't know if there was a miscommunication, but with Weber State only having one timeout and a running clock on first down before the snap, they had no need to run a play, and you saw Best slipping while reaching out and handing that ball off. And so Weber State has used their final timeout. They can't stop the clock. And Eastern Washington can go into victory formation, which they could have done on the last play. And so Nate Bell will take it to a knee. They'll only have to do that one more time. Riley, Eastern Washington, there's a number of pockets in this game where they certainly wanted to play better. But they made the most important plays in the biggest moments. And this is just another notch in their belt, another victory, and another sign of growth.
Well, they just held on for the win, really, in the second half. They don't score any points. They hardly move the ball. But they hold Weber State to 6 points.
They blocked the field goal, 2 interceptions. And they come into Ogden. Certainly not a perfect performance, but a road win they should be happy about. They were a team that at one point had been outscored in the first quarter on the road, 62-0. Special teams, they were special all day. Defense with the timely plays, and the offense got hot at the end of the second quarter to take a 9-point lead into the locker room. And they go on to win by the final score of 23-20.
Boy, just a heartbreaker for Weber State here at home. I think this was a game they really felt like they could get back on track at home. Just weren't able to make the plays. I think that the two special team, it wasn't two special teams play. It was a special teams play where they scored a touchdown, and then a special teams play where the ball's inside the 5, and then they fumble the snap with a safety. Really big difference in this game.
You'd have to say they were the two biggest plays of the game.
Correct.
I mean, there was a 9-point swing that took place there at that moment. The Weber State Wildcats and the Eastern Washington Eagles played to a tight one this afternoon here in Weber County. And it's the Eagles coming out with a 23-20 win. They move back to 500 at 4-4. Our thanks to the athletic departments of Weber State University and Eastern Washington, and our thanks to you for watching. For the quarterback, Riley Jensen, I'm Tony Parks. Eastern Washington wins 23-20, and you saw it all right here on ESPN+. What a sad way to have it end with the illegal participation. Oh.